Miss Universe judge says transgender contestant led to bankruptcy. Emily Austin attributed to pageant bankruptcy to outrage over transgender contestant, stating, "I think the outrage about a trans woman coming to Miss Universe and preaching, bring the power back to women, couldn't be more of an oxymoron." She expressed her belief that allowing transgender women to participate was both socially and morally wrong, adding people are starting to catch onto that. Austin highlighted the financial issues faced by the company under the ownership of Thai media mogul and trans woman and can't pronounce the last name, who purchased the rights to Miss Universe, Miss USA, and Miss Teen in 2022 for $20 million. She mentioned the company's failure to fulfill a $12 million loan debt. Anyways, we know the story here. Give us a little bit of background with the story there and why you think this brand called Miss Universe, 72-year-old brand, is getting destroyed by this person here.
I mean, growing up, I loved Miss Universe. Yeah. For God's sake, when I was not even 18, I ran for Miss New York. I thought it was the coolest thing ever because Miss Universe should be an example of what a woman should be to the world, like the prime example of a woman. And when I say woman, I mean a biological one. And everyone's been calling me transphobic and every nasty word you can possibly be called. But it's quite simple, my theory. And if you actually listen with your ears, you'll likely agree. I don't care what you identify as. You want to identify as a cat? So be it. I think you're a weirdo, but it's not my problem. But now you're crossing a boundary where you are threatening women's empowerment, which is what Miss Universe is preaching. And you are saying this person who grew up a man, never knew what a period cramp felt like, never knew what, like all the awkward puberty things and awkward things that women have to deal with, okay? You don't know what that feels like, the same way I don't know what it's like to be like a man truly, biologically. But the fact that you want to identify now halfway through your life or whatever point and say, I deserve this more than a biological woman, now you're berating women. And that's not fair. Same thing in sports. In 2012, a video surfaced of Serena Williams saying, oh, if I played XYZ, she was speaking about a male athlete, he would destroy me in 5 minutes, and he wasn't even the greatest. She's the greatest.
He was a top 10 guy. But yeah, you're right.
But
she's number one, without a doubt.
Sense. Biologically, I'm sorry, we are not the same. And you can identify as whatever you want, but just stop pretending it's the same because it's not. And that's what I keep saying to Miss Universe. It's not the same. The year I was a judge, there were no trans contestants. I would not have been okay with that.
That was 2022. 2023, there was two contestants out of, I believe, 80 women, or three. Maybe they snuck one in at the end.
But Emily, here's my question though: how is this small minority group just so protected and so they basically just do whatever they want? If you criticize them at all, you can't say anything against them. Not even you can't even be funny. You can't even crack jokes. Everybody turns on you and you get canceled.
I mean, I think that's our fault, not like us in this room, but it's our fault because we're allowing it. Everyone's like, you're never going to make it because everyone calls me Miss Conservative. Nobody even knows my political values, which is funny. You're against trans, you're against gays. No, first of all, I make jokes about everyone. I make Jew jokes. I'll make every joke to every community because it's a joke. So relax. But the second we start censoring ourselves because of the response, you're enabling them to cancel you. Be uncancelable and you won't get canceled. I know it's probably easier said than done, but why are we silencing ourselves? Like, look at Chris D'Elia, comedian, right? Yeah. He was canceled so many times, but he's killing it on Netflix, on world tours. Like, he didn't let himself get canceled. Dave Portnoy, every week someone's trying to cancel him. Doesn't let it happen. So why are we the ones censoring our own free speech in the best country in the world when we have it? Just don't. It's really that simple.
A lot of people are wearing being canceled as a badge of honor these days. It's like, once, twice you tried. But you said that it's all our fault for sort of being complicit in this. I would argue that it's women's fault. Hear me out. I don't know a lot of men, at least in those circles that I'm in, and it's not like I'm in the left, I'm in the right, I'm everywhere. I don't know a lot of men that are like, yeah, men can totally compete in this. I know a lot of women that don't speak out about this, and they'll do, because I've interviewed countless amounts of women on this on my other show, and the women, at least off camera, would agree, yeah, I don't really like this, but on camera, they're like, yeah, I don't really want to talk about it. So I think it's incumbent on women, like what you're doing, to stand up and saying, no, I don't want you in my pageant, right? Mm-hmm. Because when men say it, we'll sound misogynistic or chauvinist.
Toxic.
Or toxic. But they're taking over your contest. They're taking over your sports.
Well,
so I think it's important that women speak out more.
I agree with you 100%. And when it comes to Miss Universe, people were challenging me hard on it because they were saying this is a pageant about looks. Now, I thought so as well until I became a judge. once I became a judge, I really tried to listen to the interviews and be like, who has a story that's so inspiring that I want the world to hear? And that's where I realized, okay, this is not about looks. Because let's be real, the woman who wins is not the prettiest woman every year at all. Okay, if it was the prettiest woman, it would have been Miss Columbia in my year. She was by far the most beautiful I've seen.
Every year, by the way.
Every year, Miss Columbia is so hot.
Gorgeous.
And with that being said, you know, with sports and Miss Universe, I even think they're incomparable. It's the same issue. It's a common denominator. But sports is just biologically, you're going to be humiliated if you play a transgender woman, aka a biological man. Miss Universe, like Varney argued on Fox, no, it's about looks. No, it's not. It's never been about looks. It's always the interview. So, you know, you need a true feminism story, not like
well, let's be clear.
Identifies as
looks is if it's not number one, it's number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Is that the winner, by the way?
No, the winner was actually a girl from
Columbia.
No, that was
wasn't
2022. In 2023 was actually a girl from Nicaragua. You know,
she's pretty.
Shocker alert! Friend of a friend, Shanice, from Nicaragua. Classy, sexy, smart. She crushed it.
And you know what? Nobody's saying. We mentioned on the show. It's why don't the trans community
start loud? Go ahead.
Start your own. Oh, I'm always loud. Start your own trans universe, trans league, trans sports, trans UFC, trans swimming. Do your own thing. Why are you guys trying to infiltrate everybody else's shit? Have a blue ocean. Go create your own shit.
Because they're women, Vinny. You know? They're women.
No, they're not.
That is the logical.
They're playing fantasy.
Vinny, that's the logical end argument. So there's truth in what you say, but that's the logical end argument. The front end is what gets missed in this. It is a leftist, socialist, Marxist agenda. Find a victim and leverage it. And if there is no victim, you have to create a victim.
Yeah.
And if you take a look at the opportunistic rotation of how leftists have taken victims and groups and leverage for what they want, what they want to do is drop the walls and undermine the traditions and the stability of the country. That's the leftist agenda. They don't care about trans. So let's go take a look. You go back and look at it. George Floyd, it was overblown. The whole the part that was over, a guy died. A guy died with the cop right there that day, and there was a court case and everything that went with it. But all the BLM stuff was sort of one side of the reaction was overblown because it was misinterpreting analysis. On the other side of it says, why is the media jumping on this? Let's focus on that. The media was jumping on it because there's the victim, there's the leverage, there's the point. Marxist social leftist agenda, you have to find a victim and leverage it. And
but
right
these communities don't see that they're being a pawn in a bigger agenda.
Exactly.
How do you not see it?
They think it's my turn in the spotlight. It's not your turn in the spotlight. You're being used.
As a victim, which is not a great pink.
How is that enablement? You're down. You're terrible. They've done this to you.
You're oppressed.
Yeah. You're oppressed. So they destroy your personhood. They destroy your value. You can't do anything yourself. You need us to be working for you. Wait a minute. Be careful what they're working on.